As defined by one of my mindfulness teachers, Shinzen Young, the three foundational skills of mindfulness are concentration, sensory clarity, and equanimity. These three skills work together to cultivate mindfulness. Much of my training comes from Shinzen's system of practice called Unified Mindfulness. You can learn more about his system on our resource page. So for the purpose of teaching, I'm going to be calling these skills that can be cultivated. But another way to view them is as innate qualities of our awareness. The practices of mindfulness help us to reconnect to these innate qualities of our larger awareness. So although I'll refer to them as skills, just keep in mind that these are qualities that are already here. We are not creating or fabricating them, just reconnecting, unlocking, or getting more access to them. Okay, so the first skill is concentration, which simply means choosing what you're going to pay attention to. And the key word here is choosing. How many times in your life have you been in a conversation or sitting in a class, listening to a lecture, and just lost track of what was being said? Started thinking about dinner, the last text you received, or started singing some random 90s song in your head. This is totally normal for our mind to wander like this, and actually helps us process things, so we don't need to get rid of or judge a wandering mind. However, in mindfulness, we can learn to cultivate the ability to choose what to focus on and let go of other preoccupations so that we have more freedom to pay attention to what matters most. Maybe what matters most is the song in your head, or maybe it's listening attentively to your best friend. With the skill of concentration, you get to choose. In concentration, your object of focus can be narrow, like in the introductory meditation, where you were guided to pay attention to just the sensation of your body sitting, or in the breath meditation, just the feeling of your breath. Or your focus can be broad, like in the Let It All Be meditation, where you focus on anything that arises in your experience: sights, sounds, thoughts, emotions, body sensations. You can have an active focus, where you purposely look for an experience within your attention. For example, in the relaxation meditation, you're guided to look for restful areas in your body. Or you can have a passive focus, where you let the object of meditation draw your attention to it. As in the sound meditation, when I ring the bell, you allow the sound of the bell to draw your attention to it. Building concentration can sometimes feel easy and bring about a sense of peace, but sometimes it can feel like running a marathon. When it's easy, just enjoy that, deepen into it. And when it's challenging, keep in mind that you're building this muscle of concentration, increasing your capacity to be present with what is most important. Okay, let's go to the second skill. The second skill is sensory clarity. As defined by Shinzen Young's Unified Mindfulness system, sensory clarity is the ability to track and explore sensory experience in real time. It's the skill of discovery. In mindfulness, we're not just noticing what's happening, but actually intimately exploring our experience, getting to know it moment to moment. Like in the introductory practice, you were guided to pay attention to the feeling of your body sitting. Well, we can think about what this means in our mind, have an idea about it, but what is it like to actually feel your body sitting? To experience the sensations change as your weight slightly shifts, to know where in your body you feel the sensations of sitting, how the sensations increase or decrease in intensity, appear and then disappear. These are all ways to experience sensory clarity. Through sensory clarity, we become clear about our actual experience, not just the collection of ideas that we mistake for our actual experience. Which leads to the why of sensory clarity. Why is this important? First of all, there's just an inherent satisfaction with getting clear, so it feels good. You've probably had an experience where all of a sudden you felt really clear, maybe while playing a sport or looking up at the stars. There's just something fulfilling about being clear. Another reason to cultivate sensory clarity is that when we closely examine our experience, we begin to notice that things are not always as they seem. Let's say you have a pain in your back that seems like solid and persistent. Then you pay closer attention to it and you begin to notice the sensations are actually changing, not so solid. And that for a period of time, maybe even a quick moment, you notice the pain drops away or decreases in intensity. That's the result of sensory clarity and can actually help ease and even relieve the suffering related to the pain. And this is just one example. Sensory clarity can also help ease and relieve the suffering related to our emotional and mental discomfort or difficulties. Often we try to avoid difficult thoughts or emotions, kind of distance ourselves from them, push them away. But when we get close up and clear with the thoughts or emotions, we can see that what's really happening is actually so precious and not as scary as we thought, and also totally worthy of our absolute love, care, and attention. Trust me, I know this can be hard to believe. It's for sure been hard for me to believe. But I've had experiences of this relieving shift, and it's definitely worth exploring. You can check this out for yourself in the thoughts and emotions meditations on this page. And so lastly, with sensory clarity, it can help us see through the compelling illusion of a solid self and a separate world, which are thought of in Buddhism as some of the main causes of suffering. Or as clinical professor of psychiatry at UCLA, Dr. Daniel Siegel puts it, there is scientifically grounded evidence that, quote, the self is not defined by the boundaries of our skin, end quote. These are profound insights that can quite literally change your experience of your life, perception of who you are, who others are, and the nature of life itself. The third and last skill, or as I like to say, innate quality, is equanimity. This is defined as the ability to allow sensory experience to come and go without push or pull. So what does that all mean? This skill refers to our overall relationship to our experience. For example, when we have an uncomfortable emotion and we resist it or repress it, from the definition, this would be pushing away our sensory experience. Or when we get caught up in the difficult emotion, identifying with it, thinking, this is who I am, I'm always afraid, or I'm always sad, or this is never going to change. This would be the pulling or holding on to our sensory experience. Maybe you remember in the introductory practice when I said, if you have an unsettled or uncomfortable sensation in your body, no need to push that sensation away. Just allow it to sit here with you. Well, this was a cue to cultivate equanimity. Synonyms for equanimity are words like allow, accept, let it be, or non-judgment. With equanimity, thoughts, feelings, and sensations just naturally unwind, release, self-heal within an unimpeded and allowing awareness. We can experience less judgment of ourselves, less judgment of others. We also become less rigid, more open, flexible, and ready to respond to challenges without being so tightly identified with the illusion of a separate and solid self. The illusion that it's just me, all alone, stuck in this head, fending for myself. Maybe you're imagining what living with this level of equanimity would be like. That's great. Now you can actually check it out for yourself as you explore the meditations on this page.